There's a lot of talk these days about how to relieve stress and anxiety. We've had stress and anxiety for thousands of years, as long as humans have been around. But it's not until recently, in the last couple decades, that they've started to make the connection that there is illness that's related to having stress. And the organs are affected by our emotions. So with that in mind, there's a lot of people that are saying, oh, you got to do deep breathing exercises. You got to learn how to do this, control your emotions, control your breath. Well, how exactly do you go about doing that? Do you just breathe deep, or is there a conscious method of how you accomplish breathing deeper? Well, I have an answer for you. I'm going to show you how you can do that and go through steps to increase your breathing capacity. As we continue to age, we breathe more and more with less capacity of our lungs. We breathe more shallow, and that's because we talk while we're breathing, we eat while we're breathing, we do all kinds of different activities where we really don't focus on our breathing while we're doing those activities. If you look at small children or infants, you'll see that they breathe instinctively from their diaphragm. It's only as we continue to age that we start to inch up higher and higher where we're breathing more from our chest. So with that in mind, we need a protocol or a set of instructions on how to consciously and deliberately breathe deeper. So we're going to start by putting our feet close together. And this is our reference point where our body is basically at a zeroed out position. Then we put our feet shoulder width apart. Our feet line up underneath our hips, underneath our knees, with our feet at the bottom all lined up in the same line. We sink our hips down slightly by bending from the hip joints. The knees will bend slightly just to get the center of gravity to sink down slightly. That makes our center of gravity a little bit lower and gives us more stability and balance. From there, we work our way back to the top of the body with our hands. I'm going to bring my hands up in front and make a heart shape, like a Valentine heart shape, with the point being in front of my real heart. And then I'm going to push down. So each time we do this, I'm going to add on more details and explain more parts of why we're doing different types of exercise parts and the details thereof. So this heart shape comes down, hands come down. When I raise my arms up, I'm going to tilt my chin up slightly. Hands come down, my chin levels off, maybe even drops slightly. As I come up, I arch my back slightly. As my chin drops, my back rounds slightly. So what's happening is our chin and the positioning of our head actually dictates whether our back is easier to arch or easier to be slouched or rounded. So ideally, we want to be able to keep our stability strong and upright, but there are times when we want to be able to bend as comfortably as we can towards the ground. We also want to be able to arch comfortably going the other direction. So as we start doing this, wherever my chin goes, it makes my back either slightly arched or slightly rounded. And what the benefit of that is, aside from just getting the muscles to be more flexible and the spinal column to be more flexible, we're trying to get the cerebral spinal fluid to move more easily up and down the spine. And there's many benefits for why that would happen, but the main thing is we're trying to get more nutrients up to the brain. We're trying to get more of the waste products to move away from the brain. And that all happens through the cerebral spinal fluid. So the more we can get the spine to roll, it acts as somewhat of a pump to get the wave motion going and gets that fluid moving. So let's go back to our exercise. We got our feet shoulder width, our arms come up to make the heart shape, our hands come down as we exhale. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to tilt my chin slightly upward. Inhaling through the nose. Try and exhale through the nose too, or through your mouth if you need to. Breathing all through the nose is preferred because you can regulate the breaths more smoothly and you're taking filtered breaths. So as I come up, my eyes are going to relax. Keep your eyes relaxed the whole time. Let your vision become slightly blurry. Let your focus relax. By doing that, we're taking some of the tension off the optic nerve, which transmits messages to the brain and also can give us stress if we're trying to strain too hard to focus and look. Inhale deep and exhale. Next thing to do is to bring the tongue up to the roof of the mouth as you inhale. Let the tongue come down as you exhale. So the tongue's going to the top of the mouth, the roof of the mouth, and then down to the bottom. It's just moving slightly, but that motion is helping to activate the saliva glands to keep your mouth moist. And there's theories that if you are swallowing your saliva, that is a good thing. So you produce the saliva, and then you swallow it. On another level, with traditional Chinese medicine, that bridge between the roof of the mouth and the bottom of the mouth acts like a gate to get the energy moving down the front of the body, through the legs, up the back of the body, over the top, and back to the nose. So with each breath, there's a pattern going where I'm inhaling from the back all the way to the top of my head, and then I'm exhaling down to the diaphragm. So we continue. The reason for the arms moving in the heart shape is to help stretch the shoulders and open up the chest so as to make the lungs more expanded. Deep, even, regulated breaths. Inhale. Exhale. So I'm going to continue to go downward towards the feet. As I'm doing this part of the movement, I'm breathing in. As I'm pushing my hands slightly downward, I'm also pulling back my chest muscles, my stomach muscles, my diaphragm, so as to help push the breath out. Inhale. And exhale. So your diaphragm can be referred to as a second heart. You got the main heart that's pumping and beating and moving the blood through the body, but by moving the diaphragm, that is helping the heart. By doing the deep rhythmic movements with the lungs, that helps more circulation flow throughout the body. So let's keep moving towards the ground with our movements. As I continue to push down towards the ground, I pull my stomach muscles towards my backbone, fully engage the diaphragm, then I relax the stomach muscles. Exhale as you come down. So our hips and knees should still be slightly bent from the very beginning. We continue to move further would be to make the thighs flexed. So imagine you're sitting on top of a horse and you need to have tension to hold yourself upright on the horse, so you squeeze your thighs inward. Your legs don't move, but the thigh muscles flex and contract. So again, we keep working our way down. Inhaling as we come up. Exhaling as we come down. So down to my feet. I want to rock back onto my heels for a moment and feel your balance a little challenged, and squeeze your feet, your toes, your heels into the ground. Inhale. Exhale. So by now this should start to feel like a wave, with the spine moving, the diaphragm moving, the arms coming down towards the ground. You should feel like you're pushing a wave all the way down to your feet. Inhale. Exhale. So again, I'm going to put my awareness towards my feet, and I'm going to try to be aware of my big toe, my little toe, and my heel, making somewhat of a triangle shape, and that's where my weight is resting upon. So from a balance point of view, that's good because it does make you more aware of where your center of gravity is at and where your weight is distributed. From the traditional Chinese medicine point of view, we're trying to stimulate the energy meridians that run from our fingertips throughout the body, all the way down to the toes. So we're getting a gentle massage of our organs at the same time because of the way we're positioning our feet and our hands with each of the deep breaths. So again, deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. So throughout doing this, we're trying to make a conscious effort to slow down our breathing. Most of the time throughout the day, we breathe between 12 and 18 breaths per minute. And that kind of makes the body feel as if it's always running, it's always on, it's always adjusting to what stress is in front of us. As soon as we start to focus on deep breaths, just by taking the effort to breathe slower, we get the breaths down maybe to half of that. Why is that key? Because our breathing can affect our emotions. Our emotions definitely can affect our blood chemistry. and our blood chemistry definitely affects the health of our organs. So by slowing down the breath and being aware of it, that helps our body to be more calm. And what's happening is we're engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, which is a fancy long word way of saying fight or flight. So you decide during a moment of stress if you need to engage or if you need to remove yourself from the situation. Oftentimes throughout the day we find ourselves in the sympathetic nervous system. When we drop the breathing to below 10 breaths per minute, we start to slow down the breathing, the heart, digestion, and basically making the body more calm. Instead of dumping adrenaline and cortisone into the bloodstream, the body starts to release DOS, 4 chemicals of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And each one of those has a benefit as to why the body chooses to release it into the bloodstream. So if I breathe with a 4-second inhale and a 4-second exhale, right away that drops our breathing from that 12 to 18 breaths per minute to about 7.5 breaths per minute, which is really good. So it makes our body feel again like we're sleeping or recharging and getting our energy back. When we're breathing at that 12 to 18 breaths, we're constantly draining and losing our energy. So if we can take it even slower, become more aware of how deep the breaths are, we breathe in for a 4 count, we hold it for a 4 count, we exhale for a 4 count. Now that drops the breathing rate to about 5 breaths per minute, which again is very good for the body to be in that parasympathetic nervous system. So just to review what we had been doing earlier, we start at the top of the body with that heart shape, and our chin coming up, and chin leveling off or coming down slightly. The eyes are relaxed, the vision blurry. Breathe out as we come down. Tongue goes up to the roof of the mouth, activating the saliva glands. Tongue goes to the bottom of the mouth, making that gate opening and closing, getting the energy moving through the energy meridians. Push down towards the ground, pull your stomach muscles back, squish down towards the ground comfortably. During this whole time, there's really no tension on the body, even from the light stretching of the arms and shoulders. We're trying to release tension, not increase tension. So again, deep rhythmic breaths. We're working our way down, back to the hips being bent, center of gravity is sunk, thighs are flexed. Kind of like as if you're holding a basketball in between your thighs, trying to hold it in place. All the way down towards the ground, I try to bring the breath. Feel the heels, feel the big toe, feel the little toe, grabbing into the shoes, into the ground, making the body very stable and very rooted. So let's try 3 more of these and then we'll conclude the exercise. So as I come up, I'm going to look up to the left and then down in front. Second breath, I'm going to look up to the right and then down in front. Third breath, I'm going to look straight up and bring that breath down and out slow. Relax the body once again. So the way you relax the body, many different ways you can do it, but for me what I found is when you tighten or have a little bit of tension on different parts of the body, then you have contrast. You feel the tension as you stretch. You want to go opposite of the tension, so that's where you feel relaxed. If you never become self-aware of having tension in your body, it's hard to relax because you already think you're relaxed. Someone tells you, calm down, take a deep breath, relax. Usually, your focus goes up in your awareness that you're being told to relax. So it sometimes creates tension. So what we just did that last part also, by turning the head to the left and up, I'm trying to stretch this muscle that connects from the base of my skull, below my ear, to my collarbone, the sternocleidomastoid muscle. And then we do the same thing on the other side, looking up and to the right, and then we look up, stretching them both at the same time, and then down and out with the final breath. So the object of that is, as we continue to age, again, the body's tightening and stiffening just through being, human beings. That's what our body does. So by doing that stretching of the sternocleidomastoid muscle, it is helping us to reduce the tension that starts to come, that makes our chin pull forward, and then consequently bring our shoulders and our back forward. So what we're doing is kind of stretching so as to have our posture in a more relaxed position by doing that stretching movement. And that is the reason why we do that movement back and forth, side to side, and then up and down when we finish the breathing set. So I'll continue to make movements or exercises available on my online site at YouTube and on Facebook. So please watch, enjoy, stay healthy, and stay active.